I've put this together as a follow-up from what we discussed last Thursday after the open day, and it covers basically the course review, but we're thinking about learning blocks. I've done one here. This one is a PowerPoint presentation to sort of like discuss the thought process of a learning block and how we got to this point. When I sat down with a couple of the guys on the table we were at on the away day, we thought that basically what happened was, at this level, when it comes to learning blocks, there will be very much small amount of cognitive learning, and as you go up to level 6, there was more cognitive learning. Early on, there was more subject content and smaller amount as you got up to level 6. That was my initial thoughts about all this stuff, but I think now I've changed a bit and I've got more like this. Based on what we discussed on Thursday and reviewing what we've done so far, it goes something like this. The learning block is inquiry-based learning block. It fits into the model that Tony's put together about inquiry-based learning. It's stuff that I've done in the past about inquiry-based learning. And in fact, what happens is, with this, we've now got two blocks. One is cognitive development, and the other one is subject content. And in between it, we've got assessment. And the way I've represented it now is that, in fact, they're the same size all the way through. It's just that this one builds on one to another, right the way up from level 4 to level 6, and it's fairly constant. This one, as in subject, is somewhat transient. In fact, the subject will change as the world progresses. But these here are constant. Yeah? And in fact, when you leave here from the University of Westminster, this bit here is the graduate attributes. This is what makes Westminster or our courses unique, this bit here. I've put to this side something called National Vocational Qualification, NVQs. And NVQs are basically designed around this part, this idea of subject content, and it's about competency based. Well, and they are work related, yeah? But here, we don't do work, we do work related, but in fact we can't give them real work experience, so we have scenario based models that drive the assessment. So in fact the assessment drives the cognitive development, and I've got here assessment for learning, right? Whereas if it's an NVQ, it's assessment for assessing your competence at a particular area. For us, it's assessment for learning, and we use the assessment for cognitive development, which is on this side. And in fact, what we use is the actual subject content as a catalyst, right, around which we build things to develop the cognitive development. So they progress right the way through. So what I've got now is I've looked at the infinity model. And given the infinity model, what I've said is there's a number of things that we have to look at. And I think the infinity model looks like this. I know it's not the infinity model we've used, but it's an infinity model that I've taken off the web, but it's the infinity model anyway. Here, from this point to here is pre-construction, if you like. This point from here right the way through to about here is the construction, and this part here is the asset management, performance, etc. So you have pre-construction, right, project delivery, and then at this point here you have asset performance, asset management. Given what we've discussed so far, we've identified from the work we did on the first day and the second day workshops, there are three main themes that run through the course itself. These main themes are, in principle, management, technology, and design. And I think that what happens is the management, right, is external to the actual physical fabric of the building. So in here, this is the physical environment of the building. So everything that goes with the physical environment is seen as the internal environment. You have technology, the physical environment, the actual physical product is here. With that as well, we have things of architectural technology where we have graphical representations of what we deliver, the architectural technology aspects of delivering the physical environment. That's internal to the actual output of the product itself. Why there's the external environment is we have things that will impose an impact on the way we deliver our physical environment. I mean, for example, sustainability imposes the way in which we have to deliver our built environment. Project management, procurement, BIM, and construction government strategies all imposed on what goes on inside the physical environment. Given that our course then is about the delivery of the physical environment, there are three main themes: management, technology and design. So the next part is we see then that a learning block must follow through these main themes, and these will be then obviously technology, design and management, and each one then will be a learning block depending on which one you want to do. So you'd have here, there will be learning outcomes to a learning block. This is prior cognitive acquisition. So if you're working at a learning block at block 6, there's a supposition or a proposal that they've done something at block 5 or learning block 5, level 5, that will support them onto the next level. There's cognitive development, and the other one is graduate attributes. The next thing we look at in a learning block is specific to the level. It relates directly to the learning outcomes and assessment strategy stroke philosophy. So the assessment must cover these things. It must also be summative, formative and synoptic. I think the synoptic bit comes in as how we want to deliver something like project-based learning. And the last step is subject content. Now, the idea of this business of prior subject acquisition and prior cognitive acquisition both relate to traceability through every type of module or learning block, because we're going to break them up into modules on the 10th of September. And what that means is, here, is can we have traceability? So if there's an expectation in a particular learning block that something's been taught before, can we trace it all the way through? Can we trace their cognitive learning all the way through? So there'll be prior subject acquisition, signposting to previous learning blocks, there will be content in a learning block, and then signposting to previous learning blocks. I've got that twice. I should have done that. Never mind, but it's in there. And then signposting to the infinity model. Okay, so that's what a learning block will look like, and that's what I put together on Thursday evening of last week when we looked at the learning block, which is what we want to develop over the summer. And the reason I've put this together is so we can see what a learning block looks like, and we can get some understanding and feel of how a learning block works based on the theory of what we've done so far in the 2-day workshops and the Thursday evening session we did last week. The next video in this section will be an analysis of the learning block.